Oh, hello. Today we're going to talk about my SGC grading strategy, and it might surprise you a little bit, some of this stuff. We're going to talk about some potential opportunities with SGC. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. How are we doing? It is another day. It is another sports card collectible style video. If you're new here, you're looking for just about daily sports card collectibles type stuff, then you have come to the right place, my friends. Make sure to hit the big red button down below. Give a little tappity tap or karate chop the notification bell, so that you are always notified when new videos come out. And like I said, we keep them fairly regular.
Do you get diarrhea too? Yes, I get diarrhea.
Also connect with me on IG at Sports Card Dad. It's where I show a lot of my pickups, try to do some reels. The kids think it's dumb, but I don't care. I'm their dad and they have to watch it. Also connect with me on Twitter, the Sports Card Dad. Shout out to channel sponsor SGC. We are talking about SGC, and so of course want to let you all know I am sponsored by SGC. Was a longtime fan of their services before I ever became a sponsor and continue to do so. Great company, but as I always say, grade with whoever you want. Buy the cards of graded companies that you always want. I buy PSA graded cards. I buy CSG graded cards. If the card is in a case and I just like the card, I'm not as worried about the case that it's sitting in. Shout out to all of the grading companies, but today we'll be talking mainly about SGC. Also want to thank the OG Vault. ComC, your home for buying and selling, flipping all the hottest trading cards. Their consignment marketplace is approaching 30 million cards, from baseball superstars like Aaron Judge to Marvel favorites like Spider-Man. ComC has something for every type of collector. Visit comc.com today to build your collection with your favorite cards. It's a fun site. Check it out. All right, as you guys know, I collect on the sports side a lot of kind of mem auto cards. Not that I don't have just regular rookie cards. I do have quite a bit of that. But what really kind of gets me excited on the sports side is, the patch auto type stuff. If I can find good value, a lot of these cards I got before kind of the boom of these types of cards. But like Namath, just an all-time classic. Jerry West, National Treasures auto. Archie Manning patch auto. I'm a huge Saints fan, so Archie Manning. Saints, please get Arch Manning, his grandson, coming up. I'm fine if you just do a Mike Ditka type trade the way he did for Ricky Williams. Get Arch Manning in the building. We need that franchise QB. And his grandfather was the first Saints QB that was really relevant. Archie was the man. He's still the man in New Orleans, doing a lot of charitable type stuff. Arch Manning, it's got to happen. All right, that's a sidebar. Coming back to it. All right, so on the SGC grading side, what I really try to do is I look for raw copies of fairly scarce cards. I'm gonna pull out. First, I'm gonna use a couple of Marvel card examples. So these are cards from the 2000 Fleer Retro set, and these are well known. This set is well known for the PMGs mainly, but really kind of the second most rare, or even these are more rare than many of those PMG cards, are the auto cards. So there's Impel inserts from 90, 91, 92, and I love those sets, those original sets. I was a kid growing up collecting 1990 Impel, 91 and 92. They're just cool cards. So these are kind of remakes of those, throwback type card. And then you've got artist autographs. And so I also just love the excitement of sending in a card, hoping for that 10 auto grade, because you got to pay attention to kind of that auto. I'll explain a little bit, pitfalls and things to watch out for as far as the auto grades go. And so you've got the auto grade there, and I just got lucky to where the card overall graded out of 10, and then you got the 10 auto grade. SGC does not give an auto grade if it's not a 10. So if it looks more like a 9 to them, whereas like PSA will give you a 9 auto. I believe BGS had done as well. I think they might have just changed their policy to do more of what SGC is doing. So the SGC, if it's not a 10 auto, then you just won't get the auto grade. You'll get the regular just card grade, and they don't charge extra for the auto grade. So that's the first example, kind of a similar deal. 2013, this is the 91 Impel insert for Daredevil. It's a 10 auto grade there with the 10 card grade. Now, an example of a card where you might not get a 10 auto grade. Now, might get lucky, but this is an example here. The Jim Hopper autograph Stranger Things, and you can see right here where it's a sticker auto, but his auto kind of runs off the sticker a little bit. It might be okay because it kind of stops right there. Might get lucky and get a 10 auto grade on this one, but it's going to be iffy. Also, if there's a little bit of streak, if it's a streaky auto, that's where you might get dinged and not get that 10 auto grade. So that's an example of a card where might just send that one to PSA for just an authentic auto. So basically, let's go to PSA, get the regular card grade, and then just ask them to authenticate the auto, which these are, the manufacturer's already authenticated the auto, so it should be fairly easy to get that done. So another example of kind of where it did work out, this is a patch auto. And again, with the stickers, it can be fairly easy. With on-card autos, if it runs off the card a little bit, if it's not centered on the card, that's where you can run into to where you won't get that 10 auto grade. But on the stickers, it's fairly easy to tell. It's not a guarantee, obviously, but you have a fairly good idea. This is the Sadie Sink. She plays Max. Got the 10 auto grade with the 10 card grade, which is difficult to do. These are thicker cards. You can see there, this is not a thin card, so getting that 10 auto grade was really huge. Another couple of examples, not a thicker card, but this is a dual auto for the Duffer Brothers. These guys created Stranger Things and got lucky there with the 10 auto grade and then also the 10 card grade. One more, kind of a good grouping here on the show. You got Hopper and you got Murray. These guys are in Russia battling it out with Demogorgons. The dual autos are extremely difficult to find. It's that 1 out of thousands of packs in Stranger Things, in the Stranger Things Series 2 set, 1 and 2 really. 10 auto grade and 10 card grade. So that's really what I've been doing a lot of. And whether it's non-sports stuff or if it's sports stuff, I just think that there's a lot of really cool opportunities and not a lot of these on the population report. So when you look at just kind of like the big PSA backlog and these companies' backlogs, a lot of that stuff is, it's Michael Jordan cards. It's going to the 80s, it's 90s. It's fairly common style stuff that really got backlogged, or ultra modern rookies or something that people were sending in. But what's really kind of a fun thing, and regardless of whether you're doing it using SGC or any other grading company, is just finding cards that have scarcity, that have rarity to them. You can look at those pack odds like I've shown on previous videos. Oh, this is 1 out of 500 packs. And then you've got a 20 card checklist. So if you get what's 1 out of 500 packs to get one of those on the checklist, and there might be a bunch of off characters or off players on that checklist. So if you have kind of a superstar or a big time movie character or whatever, a main character out of that checklist, then that's pretty rare. You don't see those all the time. And so I really do think that 10-10 is just cool. I like the Tux in general, the way that the slabs look. And then when you get the 10-10, man, it's just a nice little feeling, that you get. You feel like you accomplished something. And so let me know your thoughts on this. Are you an autograph card collector? And if so, how do you typically grade those, or do you not grade those? There's also something to be said for just having those raw as well, but I just think they display nicely. Obviously, you want authentication, protection. The grade can help the value of the card, especially if you do get those 10 grades. But just being with my collection being a lot of auto cards anyway on the sports side, on that non-sports side, I noticed that whether it be Marvel or Stranger Things or, some Star Wars or some of these other types of sets, just not a lot of graded options there. And so that's where I think that there can be opportunities. And again, a lot of these just long-term style holds. But, a lot of these cards are numbered to 10. They're numbered to 25. It's not as if there's ever going to be a ton of these that hit the pop report. Even if it's graded across all of the grading companies, there just won't be a lot available. And with the big movement kind of more out of just kind of the rare, more common stuff in a high grade, there's been, of course, vintage also being an option where you're going to vintage. SGC is already known for vintage, so they already get quite a bit of vintage business. That's actually been another avenue I've been looking at, is trying to buy raw vintage to send to SGC. The issue that I've just had over the last 6 months of looking to do that, especially on the football card side, because I'm a football card collector mainly, is the vintage prices. For example, at the National, I was looking at raw copies of cards. I was actually going around with Ryan McClanahan, who is a vintage expert, I would say, a card historian. And he did show me there was some opportunities. There was pockets to buy some good looking vintage, but I just noticed that a lot of the dealers had them priced out really. They had a lot of graded copies there, so they knew what they were doing. I feel like, they had those raw copy prices very close to what the graded price would be anyway. So there might be some opportunities there to buy at a good price. But again, those dealers knew exactly what they were doing, so they had probably already looked at it under a microscope. They've seen all the things. They've graded 1 million of these vintage cards. So they know that they're not going to sell me what would be an SGC 8 for, a 3 price. They had a pretty good idea of what they were sitting on. So I think there are still a lot of opportunities in cards, obviously. Even with prices down, you're just having to find kind of pockets. There's different niches and there's different collector pockets, that people are looking for, especially on these non-sports style cards. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. I want to hear what are your grading strategies, whether it be with SGC or other companies, but specifically with auto cards, because that's really a lot of what I collect. So, or vintage for that matter, vintage or auto style cards, if you're grading them, and then what are you having successes with? I think that would be helpful to viewership. So definitely let us know your thoughts down there in the comments section. Guys, stay healthy, stay awesome. And don't forget to check out ComC.com. Take care.